Financial analysts build their models to predict pharmaceutical revenues with a high degree of precision. For a mega-cap company like Novo Nordisk, the quarterly numbers are expected to align closely with institutional forecasts. This chart frames the gap between those predictions and reality. Wall Street expected $180 million in revenue for the new Wegovy pill. Instead, the pill nearly doubled that estimate, bringing in $354 million. Since the launch, cumulative prescriptions surged past historical volume models, surpassing 2 million scripts. A revenue beat of this magnitude indicates that the underlying assumptions the market used to value this product were incorrect. Prior to the launch, analysts focused on a specific risk, cannibalization. The models assumed most oral prescriptions would come from current patients deciding to switch from an injection to a daily pill. This assumption suggested total franchise growth would remain stagnant, with the new product merely absorbing the old revenue. Instead of merely reshuffling current users, the first quarter data shows the pill reached an entirely different patient demographic. Sales for the original injectable Wegovys grew by 12% during the same period. The 2 million new prescriptions came from patients who prefer oral doses, those with a needle aversion, and users of telehealth platforms. Management described this as a synergetic effect. Rather than dividing the existing market, the two formats combined to expand the total patient pool. Introducing a non-invasive format allowed the company to reach a new audience while maintaining its original user base. This chart shows how that expansion translated into dominance. The Wegovy brand currently captures 65% of all new obesity prescriptions in the U.S. market. Novo Nordisk relied on the established Wegovy name rather than launching a separate brand, utilizing existing patient and physician awareness to drive adoption. This high volume of prescriptions increases physician familiarity, which in turn leads to broader integration into clinical workflows and telehealth platforms. Capturing nearly 2/3 of all new prescriptions creates a barrier that makes it difficult for new competitors to gain momentum. Eli Lilly's rival oral drug, Foundayo, entered the landscape 3 months after the Wegovy pill was established. Foundayo has its own clinical advantages, including a lack of fasting requirements and a lower entry price for self-paying patients. This comparison illustrates the scale of the challenge. Novo is currently processing over 200,000 weekly prescriptions, while Foundayo reported 3,700 in its second week. A 3-month head start allowed the incumbent to secure enough market share that clinical differentiators alone have not yet closed the gap. The 65% market share Novo established in the first quarter carries a specific financial multiplier that will activate over the coming months. Patients start on a 1.5 milligram pill, moving up to a 25 milligram maintenance dose. In Q1, the majority of the 1.3 million patients were on this lowest revenue starter dose. As they graduate to the 25 milligram dose, revenue per existing prescription increases. This titration schedule means that quarterly revenue can increase even if the total number of new patients remains flat. The early performance of this launch demonstrates the strategic value of market expansion over simple market share capture. In this segment of the industry, the advantage remains with the company that can broaden the customer base to include patients who were previously not using injectable options. By combining a 3-month head start with a built-in price escalation model, Novo Nordisk created a framework where revenue growth is mathematically tied to the